Don't be afraid to shout it.
That's my purse!
Try it again.
That's my purse! I don't know you! That's my purse! That's my purse!
These are some ways to get out of some sticky situations. If somebody grabs your arm, you use your hand to get out of their grip either way, depending on which way they grab you with which hand.
I'm gonna go with this though.
Or,
Yeah.
if somebody comes up to you and grabs you on the shoulder, you're going to take your opposing, as an example, on your right shoulder, take your left arm, come up underneath their hand, bring up your right arm, grab their elbow or their arm, rip them off of you, and turn their arm so that you gain control. Sitting in front of you and comes at you in such a diagonal that their arm then grabs you like this, you will reach over, grab their thumb, turn their arm in and twist it while still holding their thumb, pull them down into like a more submissive position, keep twisting their arm. Then when they get low enough, you knee them in the head. Attacker comes at you and your arms are either in between your shoulders or outside of your shoulders. There are two different things to do. This is for when my arms are in between my shoulders. Your arms are in between your shoulders and somebody comes at you and grabs your arm. You are then going to take either the left or right arm. For this example, we're going to use our left hand. You're going to grab their left hand, whatever that is grabbing your right arm. You're going to bring up your elbow and kind of come up over their arm and force them to let go with both hands. This is when my wrists are outside of my shoulders. If your arms are outside of your shoulders and somebody grabs you, you're going to take one of your arms, this example we're going to use our right, lift your elbow up above, inside of where he is grabbing you, kind of break that grip, come back and elbow him in the face. My elbow up, out, and go like that. Somebody comes up behind you and bear hugs you, you're going to take your leg and reach around their leg, turn around and push them over and let them trip.
You ready?
Somebody comes at you and grabs your hair from the front. You're going to take your hand and immediately grab onto their hands so that way they cannot shake you around anymore or anything, like control you, make you submissive. You want to make them submissive. So once they grab you, their elbow obviously is going to be extended. Then punch here. There's a sweet spot right above the elbow, below your shoulder. So punch as much as you can. You keep punching until they let go. Knee them in the groin. Go nuts. The sweet spot here. Punch and kick. So when it comes up behind you, if you have a ponytail or grabs you by the hair, you're immediately going to want to turn around. You're going to punch them right in the groin. You're going to punch them, slap them in the face, push them away, check the area, make sure there's nothing else that's going to happen. Anybody else is going to jump on top of you, and get away from him or her. Getting out of a lot of situations is eyeballs. Use your thumbs. Your thumbs are weapons. And push. You will drive them into somebody's eyeballs, eye sockets. You will scratch the muscles and you will make them submissive as opposed to, obviously, you getting further injured or killed. So if somebody's coming at you and puts you even in a chokehold, instead of grabbing down on their elbows, that's probably not going to work. Most likely it's not going to work, and that's just going to prolong the fact that they're still choking you. So put your arms together, bring them up between theirs, and drive your thumbs into their eyeballs and push. And push. Bring my arms together. Up. Grab your thumbs. Grab it right here. Draw it. What would happen if you got stuck in a trunk? Somebody came up to you, abducted you, forced you into a truck. How the hell would you get out? Here's how. This is what happens when you get stuck in a trunk. Anthony? My keys are on my mom's car. Yeah, okay. All right. So usually, most cars have this. You see it going in the dark? So inside here, this is where the key would be. You want to rip all these wires. You want to try to get out of the trunk in case it doesn't have one of those. But then there's also taillights in here. Rip this stuff off, mess with the taillights. If they're driving on the highway, they'll get pulled over. You know, kick down the seats, do anything you can to get the hell out of the trunk. And I think I've had enough of being in here. Hi-ya! Free!
Get back in there.
Pointing a gun at you, you're going to immediately put your hands up. Because you want to obviously be submissive, but your hands are now closer to the gun. You will grab the gun, redirect the barrel, karate chop their hand, turn the gun in, always redirect it immediately towards them as soon as possible. Get control of the weapon.
Yeah.
Oh, I surrendered.
Do you though? Ah, no. Oh!
Example would be immediately duck underneath the gun, push the gun up so that way it fires. Then you're going to kick them in the groin, grab the gun, twist it into them, and point the gun and pull, and you have now control of the weapon, like this.
Oh.
Take it down, go up, kick him in the groin, bring the gun down towards him, grab the gun, pull out, fire. Goes to swipe a knife at you across your abdomen. Once they go this way, you're going to reach forward, you're going to grab the arm, you're going to twist their arm back, you're going to grab the knife and pull it out of their hand, and now you have the knife. At you with a knife towards the abdomen. You're going to jump out of the way, you're going to do the same thing, grab their arm, twist it behind their back, and either way that is more comfortable for you in that immediate moment, and then twist their arm behind their back, you know, and grab the knife. At you with a knife. You have to meet them. You have to grab their arm and twist their arm down. You know, same thing again, behind the back. Grab the knife, but you have to act fast. It's a matter of life or death. So you have to meet them if this is going to work. Ha! So I went for a stroll with Kevin Reeve through the wilderness.
I'm Kevin Reeve with On Point Tactical. I teach urban escape and evasion.
And I had a few questions for him. I wanted to know how to survive certain situations. Like, Mr. Reeve, how do I get out of flexi cuffs?
The best tool for getting out of flexi cuffs is 550 cord or parachute cord, which you can wear around your ankle. You can replace your boot laces or shoelaces with it. You just want to have the parachute cord somewhere where it's accessible on your body. I need about a 6-foot length. I'm going to slide it through one of the sides of the flexi cuffs, and I'm going to make a loop about 4 or 5 inches around that will go over the tip of my toe. The same thing on the other side over the tip of the other toe. Then I'm going to lean back and I'm going to bicycle my legs, and in the process that parachute cord is going to cut through the zip tie.
Mr. Reeve, how do I get out of duct tape?
Escaping duct tape starts with the presentation. What you're going to do is present with your elbows close together or reasonably close together so that the duct tape is very tight around your wrists and hands. Then once you get the duct tape there and you're ready to go, you're going to raise your hands up over your head and slam your elbows into your rib cage. And I mean really hit it hard. That instant pressure will overwhelm the duct tape and cause it to break. If your legs are duct taped together, then you put your hands together between your knees and force them down in a really fast, hard action. With both rope and duct tape, the key is presentation. What I want to do is present myself as very cooperative, but in reality I'm being somewhat passive-aggressive. I'm going to put my knuckles together and pull my hands in close to my chest. I'm going to point my knuckles towards his eyes so that what he sees are my hands. And it looks like I'm being very cooperative, but in reality, with my elbows out, I'm creating a space between my wrists so that when he ties me up, I've created distance between my wrists that when I bring my elbows back in together, I have now slack. As soon as I know I'm alone, I'm going to start to stretch the rope, and I'm going to do this by twisting my wrists. I want to stretch it as much as possible. Eventually, I'll get to the point now if I put my elbows together, I have a lot of slack, where I can grab one of the strands with my teeth and pull it over my hand, and then I work that loose. Same technique, the back and forth and the twist. After I get that done, I should be able to slip out of it. If I need to, I'll slip another strand and do the same thing. Most people who do this are not experts at tying people up. They have rudimentary skills at best, and it's not terribly difficult to escape.
What about handcuffs?
If you find yourself restrained with handcuffs, the first thing you have to do is orient yourself. You have to figure out where the keyhole is, because that's going to be your avenue of escape. The tool that we like to use for picking is simply a bobby pin. I straighten the pin out, I remove the little covering on the end of it, the plastic tip. It goes into the top, into the flag portion of the keyhole, and is bent slightly. It's about a 45-degree bend. That gives you the right reach and gives you the right angle for moving the locking bar on that handcuff. You're going to get your tool out and insert it in, and you're going to put it under tension and rock it towards your wrist. It's a very simple motion. The important thing to realize or remember is that this is a finesse move. It's not a strength move, and it's not a difficult task. Put a light touch and a little rock. That's all there is to it.
So if somebody gets you down on the ground and is about to rape you, to molest you, to violate you, you are going to want to get out of that. So this is how you would do it. You're laying down, you're submissive. Unfortunately, you are going to want to do the shrimp. Just act natural.
Act my natural rapist.
There you go.
I have to turn my hip outward. So if I'm here on the ground, whatever side I'm going to, that foot stays on the ground and the opposite shoulder stays on the ground. It does not move. So if I'm going to go this way, my foot stays on the ground. I'm going to push off with that foot. And you see how my shoulder stays on the ground, and I make sort of like an L. I should end up like this. Okay, so one more time, I'm here, and I'm going to push. And this is the shrimp, okay? Foot stayed on the ground from the side I was going to. My opposite shoulder stayed on the ground as well. I go the other way, it's the same thing. This foot would stay on the ground, and this shoulder would stay on the ground, and I would go ahead and shrimp out. Notice how I pick my foot up off the ground.
You're always going to remember to push off on an opposing leg than what shoulder you're going to want to turn on.
The leg that went up is going to go on my hip, okay? Again. On my hip. Now from there, from this position, she's going to go down and grab my elbows. Good. Right from there, and then she's going to come back to the center and put her other foot on my hip. Now from this position, I pretty much can't do anything. If you notice, I'm a little off balance. She can hold on to me here with her hips. Legs are a lot stronger than me. If I'm off balance, I can't really get near her. Notice I kind of just push her back. And that's what you want, okay? Now, as an attacker, what's going to happen is, I'm going to be here. She's going to go ahead and shrimp out. I'm going to move, grab my elbows. Right from here, my natural reaction will be to pull away. And as I pull away, she's going to slide down to my wrist and start to kick.
Leaving the interview with Mr. Reeve, I thought to myself, what happens if I don't have rope? And if I am unfortunately in zip ties? How do I get out of this? So I further researched.
It takes more than a skilled touch. In order for this to work, I have to cinch them down as tight as I can. If it doesn't work, I now have the circulation of my hands cut off. I'm going to drive my elbows down into my rib cage, and I'm going to pull the cuffs into my chest. What that does is overwhelm the locking mechanism. You really got to channel a lot of energy to make this work. It's going to hurt. There's no way around it.